Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for EMBCA's The History and Legacy of the Evzones, Elas's Guardians webinar panel discussion. My name is Luke Katzos, president of EMBCA, and I will be moderating today's discussion. Our distinguished panelists includes mechanical engineer and former Evzone, Adamos Daios, entrepreneur and former Evzone, Eleftheriadis, and photographer Dimitra Hatziadam, creator of the acclaimed Evzones Guardians of the Unseen photographic exhibition. The Evzones stand among the most enduring symbols of Hellenic courage, resilience, and historical memory. Their story begins centuries ago in the rugged mountains of Ottoman-occupied Elas, where klephts and armatoloi, irregular fighters who refused submission, waged guerrilla warfare against the occupying empire. From these agile, fiercely independent warriors emerged the early light infantry, who would later be known as the Evzones, men well-girt for battle, renowned for their endurance, precision, and unmatched ability to navigate harsh terrain. Their legend was sealed during the Hellenic War of Independence from 1821 to 1829. As light infantrymen in revolutionary bands, Evzones executed daring raids, defended critical mountain passes, and became instantly recognizable by their traditional dress, an early precursor of the modern fustanella. To the struggling nation, they represented not only military skill, but the very spirit of freedom. Their bravery and sacrifice during this era established them as guardians of Hellenic liberty and national identity. With the founding of the modern Hellenic state in 1833, the Evzones were formally organized into elite units of the Hellenic army. Under successive monarchs and military reforms, they grew into disciplined, highly trained battalions that served with distinction in the Balkan Wars, World War I, the Asia Minor campaign, and the Greco-Italian War. Their reputation for courage was further immortalized by many stories, such as that of Konstantinos Koukidis, a young Evzone who, according to legend, wrapped himself in a Hellenic flag and leapt from the Acropolis rather than surrender it during the Axis invasion. The uniform of the Evzones, one of the most iconic in the world, is a living testament to Hellenic history. The fustanella, with its 400 pleats, symbolizes 4 centuries of Ottoman occupation. The red pharion cap with its black tassel, the white wide-sleeve shirt, and the famous tsarouchia with heavy soles and black pom-poms all reflect deep traditions of resistance, identity, and pride. Each element, handcrafted and steeped in symbolism, connects the modern Hellenic state to its ancestral struggle for freedom. Today, the Evzones are no longer battlefield soldiers, but ceremonial guardians of the Hellenic Republic. As the Presidential Guard, they maintained a revered presence at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Syntagma Square, performing precise, stylized changing of the guard ceremonies and participating in national celebrations and welcoming of foreign dignitaries. Their rigorous training and discipline uphold the honor of a tradition stretching back many centuries, while their presence in literature, art, and collective memory reminds all who witness them that courage, freedom, and sacrifice are living traditions, not abstract ideals. Looking to the future, the Evzones will join us in New York for the Greek Independence Day Parade 2026, leading a historic procession down Fifth Avenue during the largest celebration of Greek independence outside of the Hellenic Republic. On April 26, 2026, they will help honor the 205th anniversary of the Hellenic Revolution, as well as the 250th anniversary of the American Declaration of Independence, bridging centuries of history and shared ideals of liberty. Their participation will be a living symbol of Hellenic courage, inspiring Hellenes and Philhellenes alike as they march with the precision, dignity, and historical gravitas that has defined them for generations. From the rugged mountains of Ottoman Hellas to the ceremonial heart of modern Athens, and soon to the streets of New York, the Evzones continue to embody the soul of the Hellenic Republic. They are more than ceremonial guards. They are protectors of history, living symbols of courage, and anchoring reminders that the legacy of freedom is carried forward with every measured step. Let's explore this remarkable journey, enduring symbolism, and the powerful legacy they carry into the 21st century. Our first distinguished panelist is Adamos Daios, who is a highly experienced mechanical engineer with advanced studies in supply chain management, distance education technologies, and business administration. Over the course of his career, he has combined technical expertise with strong leadership across multiple fields. He has served for 9 years as director of the Private Vehicle Technical Inspection Center, ensuring operational continuity, quality control, and team coordination. With more than 18 years in adult education, he has trained professionals in workplace safety, logistics, technical certifications, and a broad range of vocational fields. His background also includes consultancy work in occupational guidance and safety engineering, as well as extensive activity in electromechanical construction projects. Adamos holds multiple professional memberships, has led accredited industry projects, and has contributed to scientific research with publications in the fields of sustainability and warehouse automation. Lastly, but not finally, he is a proud former member of the Presidential Guard, serving from September 2003 to February 2004, with over 100 hours of duty at the Monument of the Unknown Soldier, a distinguished and honorable chapter of his life. Welcome, Adamos, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for all these kind words. It's glad to be here.
Yeah, please proceed with your presentation, Adamos.
Okay.
It's yours.
We can start then. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. The presentation examines the evolution of the Presidential Guard, a unit that has come to embody a distinctive synthesis of historical memory and national representations. Its presence extends for more than 1.5 centuries, and its ceremonial posture reflects a continuous dialogue between tradition and the modern Greek state. It is observed that behind the precise movements and the characteristic uniform lies a narrative rooted in identity and collective remembrance. The following discussion outlines the principal stages of this development. Next slide. A brief reference to its current function offers a useful point of entry. The Presidential Guard operates as a visible sign of national continuity, and its presence at the tomb of the unknown soldier constitutes a daily affirmation of respect for the historical experience of the country. The characteristic stillness of the Evzones, together with a meticulously coordinated changing of the guard, expresses an interpretive link between the past and the present. This framework assists in understanding how the unit assumed the symbolic weight it carries today. Next slide, please. The historical trajectory begins in 1868, during the reign of King George I. At that stage, the Guard served the royal household and participated in ceremonial events that marked the public life of the kingdom. its uniform drew inspiration from the attire of klephts and armatoli, thereby creating a visual reference to the struggle for independence. Through these features, the Guard gradually formed a recognizable ceremonial identity that remained stable across the final decades of the 19th century. Next slide. Now, during the early 20th century, Greece experienced considerable social transformation, and the Guard adapted to these conditions. Its public visibility increased in state ceremonies and military parades, while the uniform evolved toward its modern form. A decisive development occurred in 1932, when the Guard undertook official duties at the tomb of the unknown soldier. This assignment strengthened its symbolic association with national sacrifice, and it introduced a tradition that continues without interruption. Next slide, please. The period of the Second World War placed considerable strain upon the institution. Ceremonial routines were disrupted, and the occupation altered the conditions under which the Guard operated. A widely cited account concerning the refusal to lower the Acropolis flag in April 1941 expresses the sense of moral resistance associated with the Evzones. Whether fully documented or transmitted through collective memory, this narrative illustrates the role of the Guard as a carrier of national sentiment during a difficult historical moment. Next slide. In the years that followed, Greece entered a phase of reconstruction and political realignment. The Guard resumed its ceremonial duties and became increasingly present in national celebrations, official receptions, and public commemorations. This period consolidated its reputation as an institution that symbolized stability during times of transition. By the early 70s, the Guard had become firmly integrated into the ceremonial culture of the modern Greek state. Next slide, please. A structural change occurred in 1974 with the establishment of the Hellenic Republic. The unit was then designated as the Presidential Guard and placed under the authority of the President. Its responsibilities came to include the guarding of the tomb of the unknown soldier and the presidential mansion, as well as participation in state ceremonies of national significance. Through these functions, the Guard gained wider recognition as an emblem of dignity and continuity. Next one. Its contemporary ceremonial duties extend across several domains. The changing of the Guard in Syntagma Square constitutes a highly recognizable ritual that demonstrates the discipline and precision of the unit. The weekly flag-raising ceremony at the Acropolis further reinforces the symbolic connection between ancient heritage and present civic identity. The participation of Evzones in national and international events highlights their role as representatives of Greece in formal public contexts. Next one. The formation of an Evzone requires substantial physical and mental preparation. Selection is based on height, posture, and discipline, while training includes the development of controlled movement and extended stillness. These demands are intensified by exposure to weather conditions that often challenge endurance. The public image of composure and precision is therefore the outcome of systematic preparation that supports the ceremonial responsibilities of the Guard. Next one, please. The tomb of the unknown soldier remains the focal point of this mission. The monument honors the memory of those who fell in battle without recorded identity and thus represents a collective historical debt. The presence of the Evzones at this location functions as a continuous expression of respect. The ritual of the changing of the guard has acquired a ceremonial depth that reflects gratitude, remembrance, and the enduring values of the Greek state. Next one, final. In conclusion, the Presidential Guard reflects a historical continuum that spans from the late 19th century to the present. Its role extends beyond ceremonial function and operates as an interpretive symbol of identity, discipline, and national memory. Its gesture, its element of the uniform, and its moment at the monument conveys a narrative deeply embedded in the Greek experience. The Guard demonstrates how tradition remains active and meaningful with contemporary public life. Thank you. That's all.
Adamo, thank you, and we'll come back with everyone later, to have a group discussion. Our next presenter, our distinguished presenter, is Eleftheriadis, a 29-year-old entrepreneur whose journey is defined by hard work, versatility, and remarkable sense of discipline. Lefteris graduated from a vocational school specializing in refrigeration and electrical installation, and holds strong qualifications in English, computer skills, safety engineering, and food safety. From early on, he chose not to confine himself to a single role. He has owned and operated a supermarket, gained firsthand experience in service, organization, and customer responsibility. He is currently the owner of a hotel in Katerini, where he personally oversees both guest experience and day-to-day operations. Alongside this, he works part-time as a farmer, an activity that has taught him patience, discipline, and respect for the natural process. Eleftheriadis also brings 4 years of experience in custom furniture construction and upholstery, a field that strengthened his appreciation for craftsmanship, detail, and high-quality finishes. For more than a decade, he has been an active investor in energy and real estate, consistently choosing to place his efforts and resources into long-term, meaningful value. In his personal life, he maintains a passion for basketball and airsoft, both of which contribute to his balance and well-being. But most importantly, for today's discussion, Eleftheriadis had the honor of serving in the Presidential Guard. His 9 months as an Evzone were a unique, unforgettable chapter, an experience that shaped him deeply and continues to stand as a proud milestone of his life. Welcome, Eleftheriadis, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for the invitation. It was my pleasure to be here. Today I would like to talk about the Evzone uniform. So, let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have the honor to presenting one of the most iconic symbols of Greece, the uniform of the Evzones, the ceremonial guards of the Presidential Guards. More than a costume, it is a visual story, one that represents bravery, freedom, and the weight of Greek history. The Evzone uniform is rooted in the clothing of klephts and armatoli, the mountain fighters who resisted Ottoman rule before enduring the Greek War of Independence in 1821. The traditional garments inspires today's ceremonial attire, honoring the men who fought for freedom. Over time, the uniform evolved, but its symbolism remained the same: courage, sacrifice, and national identity. Next slide, please. Now let's walk through the uniform piece by piece. Each element you see on the Evzones carries meaning. The fustanella is the most recognizable feature. It contains 400 pleats, representing the 400 years of Ottoman occupation. Made from about 30 meters of fabric, it requires exceptional craftsmanship. Every pleat symbolizes endurance, and wearing it is a physical reminder of history. With its wide, flowing sleeves, the shirt reflects the clothing of the fighters of 1821. The sleeves symbolize freedom and purity. It is handmade and take many hours to produce. Επόμενο slide. A richly embroidered wool vest, always handmade. The embroidery can take months depending on the detail. The patterns symbolize bravery, virtue, and religious faith. Each family is unique and no two are exactly the same. Next slide. Perhaps the most charming element of the uniform, the leather shoes with the black pom-poms. Each sarouki weighs up to 3 kilos with 120 to 150 nails hammered into the sole. The nails create the distinctive sound when the Evzone stamps, a sound of strength, alertness, and ceremonial respect. The pom-poms originally hid a small blade used by war fighters. The leather belt ensures perfect posture, symbolizing discipline. The leggings, calzodetes, and wool stockings finish the uniform and require precise fitting. The red hat, phareon, with a long silk tassel, symbolizes the blood of heroes and the continuity of Greek history. Every Evzone is not only wearing a uniform, he is carrying the weight of Greek history, of the national memory, The uniform demands precision, endurance, and absolute respect. While on duty, an Evzone must remain motionless and expressionless, no matter the weather, crowds, or environmental challenges. This discipline honors those who served before and those who sacrificed their lives for Greece. When an Evzone stands guard at the monument of the unknown soldier, he represents all fallen Greeks who never returned home. Each movement in the changing of the guards is symbolic, rehearsing to perfection and treats us sacred. Wearing the uniform at the post is one of the highest honor. In conclusion, the Evzone's uniform is more than clothing. It is a living connection to Greek courage, tradition, and identity. Every stitch, every pleat, every symbol tells a story carried proudly by the presidential guards and admired by the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Eleftheriadis. Our next,
If I have a moment.
yes, please.
Can we see the last photograph of the presentation from Lefteris?
Of course.
The Evzone's uniform.
The last slide. Can you go please to the last slide?
Which one? This is the last one.
No, this is the first one. The last slide.
Yeah, this is the first one.
Yeah.
I am on from the right, the second one. Next to President of Cyprus.
Fantastic. That's great. That's great. Okay.
How the years have passed.
I think you look great. I think you look fantastic right now. All right, thank you for that. Our next presenter is Dimitra Hatziadam. Since 2010, Dimitra has served as a credentialed photographer for the presidency of the Hellenic Republic, covering ambassadorial accreditations, official visits of head of state, and collaborating with embassies and public institutions on portraits, events, and publications. Her work spans across book photography, real estate documentation, and feature film production, complementing by specialized training in studio, fashion, and as well as cultural management and exhibition curation. She has also documented 80 churches and ecclesiastical artifacts in long-term collaboration with the Holy Metropolis in Athens. Her work has earned international recognition, including a distinction in the major photography competition with over 4,600 submissions, with one of her photos published in the official album Colors of Orthodoxy. A major focus of her career in the 3-year photographic project Evzones, The Guardians of the Unseen, achieved through exclusive access to the elite unit of the Presidential Guard. She is the only photographer to have captured their disciplined daily life in such depth, producing a rare and authentic testimony of Hellenic identity and Evzone symbolism. The exhibition has been presented in 24 cities in Hellas and abroad, including Alaska, Melbourne, and Warsaw, with the opening hosted by the President of the Hellenic Republic. At each exhibition, Dimitra engages with visitors, sharing stories behind the images and connecting audiences to Hellenic values and history. In 2026, the exhibition will mark its 10th anniversary, with plans to expand its cultural journey abroad, including New York, alongside a series of unique commemorative gifts inspired by the Evzones. We're going to show, before we introduce Dimitra to speak, and she will be speaking in the Hellenic, we're going to show a small video that Dimitra has put together. Very nice. Dimitra will be... Dimitra θα μιλήσει σε... δεν έχουμε τελειώσει, εντάξει. Dimitra, very nice video. Dimitra will be speaking to us in the Hellenic language. Dimitra θα μας μιλήσει στα ελληνικά. Γεια σου Dimitra, and thank you for coming with us today.
Καλησπέρα. Ευχαριστώ πολύ για την πρόσκληση. Βλέποντας τις παρουσιάσεις των δύο των Ευζώνων που κάνανε, γύρω από την ιστορία και τη στολή, σκεφτόμουν ότι πίσω από όλες αυτές τις φωτογραφίες και την παρουσίαση υπάρχουν κάποιοι φωτογράφοι. Κάποιοι φωτογράφοι που δεν φαίνονται και δεν απλά μας καταγράφουν κάποιες εικόνες και κάποιες στιγμές. Δεν έχω προετοιμάσει τίποτα, γιατί κανένα κείμενο, γιατί για μένα ήταν πάρα πολύ εύκολο να μιλάω συνέχεια μία εβδομάδα για τους Εύζονες. Έζησα μαζί τους πολύ ιδιαίτερες στιγμές, με πολύ συγκίνηση, και μου πήρε πάρα πολύ καιρό να καταλάβω ότι τελικά είναι άνθρωποι που μιλάνε, αγκαλιάζουν, αισθάνονται, γιατί όλος ο κόσμος είχε την εικόνα ότι είναι ένα άγαλμα που δεν μιλάει. Τελικά έχουν πάρα πολύ συναίσθημα και η προεδρική φρουρά είναι ένα στρατόπεδο για μένα το οποίο έχει πολύ συναίσθημα, πολύ υδρότα και πολύ δάκρυ. Καλώς κάποια πράγματα δεν βγαίνουν προς τα έξω και δεν τα ξέρει ο κόσμος και δεν τα βλέπει ο κόσμος, και είναι καλό να μένουν στην ευζωνική οικογένεια. Ξεκινώντας από αρχή τη φωτογράφηση, στην αρχή δεν με θέλανε καθόλου μέσα στο στρατόπεδο. Δεν με θέλανε γιατί ήταν πολύ δύσκολο να δεχτούνε ότι υπάρχει μία γυναίκα και είναι μέσα στο στρατόπεδο, είναι μέσα στο χώρο τους και θα φωτογραφίσει τις δικές τους τις στιγμές. Με διώχνανε συνέχεια, εγώ ξαναπήγαινα, με διώχνανε και γινόταν αυτό, συνέχεια. Όταν κάποια στιγμή πλέον μου είπανε έλα τώρα εδώ να σου πούμε τι κάνουμε. Τότε λοιπόν μ' αγκάλιασαν και ξεκίνησε μια ιστορία η οποία κράτησε 3 χρόνια, πάρα πολύ δύσκολη, με πολύ συγκίνηση, και αυτό που κατάλαβα 3 χρόνια μετά, ζώντας συνέχεια δίπλα τους και με διαφορετικούς Εύζονες, ήταν το ότι οι αξίες τους είναι κάτι αδιαπραγμάτευτο και ότι έχουν ένα απίστευτο σεβασμό προς την Ελλάδα, προς το σύμβολο του Εύζωνα και προς όλη τη διαδικασία. Για μένα όλο αυτό, ό,τι έζησα ήταν ένα σχολείο ζωής. Αλλά νομίζω ότι και η εκπαίδευση οι οποίοι περνάνε όλοι οι Ευζώνες ανεξαρτήτου χρονιάς, έσχετα πότε πραγματικά υπηρέτησαν, η εκπαίδευσή τους με όλους όσους έχω συζητήσει θα τους μείνει για μια ζωή. Και έχουν και το κουβαλάνε μια ζωή. Ακόμα και με Εύζωνες σε πολύ μεγάλη ηλικία. Τους ακολούθησα στη βροχή, στο κρύο. Ήμουνα μαζί τους γύρω στις 40 φορές στην Ακρόπολη. Κάθε Κυριακή από τις 6.30 ώρα είχα ξεχάσει τι ήταν οι διακοπές, είχα ξεχάσει τι θα πει διασκέδαση, οι φίλοι, κάτι το οποίο φυσικά δεν το έχω μετανιώσει ούτε στο λεπτό μέχρι τώρα. Ήταν ένα πανέμορφο ταξίδι εμπειρίας. Τον πρώτο χρόνο θυμάμαι συγκεκριμένα ότι είχα τη φωτογραφική μηχανή στα μάτια. Ήταν πολύ δύσκολο να τους φωτογραφίσω και πολύ δύσκολο να μπορέσω να βγω από αυτό το συναίσθημα και από όλη αυτή την κατάσταση. Πραγματικά έζησα δίπλα τους σε πολύ δυνατές στιγμές, μέσα και έξω από το στρατόπεδο. Έζησα στιγμές οι οποίοι Εύζονες ήταν άρρωστοι ή κρυωμένοι μέσα στην προεδρική φρουρά και με το που βγαίναν από την πόρτα, από την πύλη, ξεχνούσαν τα πάντα. Πραγματικά εκεί είχαν τελειώσει όλα. Έπρεπε να κάνουν την υπηρεσία τους μία ώρα, είτε είχε πάρα πολύ κόσμο, είτε 3 η ώρα το βράδυ και μπορεί να είχε κρύο, που έπρεπε να ήμουν και εκεί. Ήμουν πολλές φορές, άπειρες ώρες στο μνημείο του γνώστου στρατιώτη. Πραγματικά ιδιαίτερο σχολείο, και όλο αυτό στην πορεία μετά ήταν ένα πολύτιμο υλικό που ήταν στον υπολογιστή μου. Ήρθε η πρώτη έκθεση φωτογραφίας, η οποία έγινε με το Υπουργείο Αμήνης, και εκεί συνειδητοποίησα και το μεγαλείο του τι κατάφερα με όλο αυτό το φωτογραφικό υλικό. Ακολούθησαν όντως άλλες 24 εκθέσεις μέχρι τώρα, όπου για αυτό το πράγμα που είμαι περήφανη είναι ότι έρχονται μικρά παιδιά από 6-7 χρονών, ζωγραφίζουν τις φωτογραφίες, ακούνε για τους Evzones, ξεναγήσεις, φοράνε τα αγοράκια, μόνο στα αγόρια δίνω το τσαρούχι και το φοράνε, και κατευθείαν ξεχωρίζουν τα παιδάκια που τους άρεσε αυτό το παραμύθι, η ιστορία που έχουν ακούσει από μένα για το τι είναι Evzonas, ιστορία, η στολή, η Ακρόπολη, όλο αυτό που ακούνε, που έρχονται κατευθείαν μετά κάποια 2-3 αγόρια, μπορεί να έρχονται, κυρία, εγώ είμαι αρκετά ψηλός για να μπορέσω να γίνω Evzonas. Και εκεί απλά υπάρχει μια πολύ καλή επιβράβευση για τον κόπο τον οποίο έκανα 3 χρόνια, για τον κόπο το να γίνει κάθε έκθεση, και πολλές φορές υπάρχουν αρκετοί και μεγάλοι που είναι αρκετά συγκινημένοι, αρκετά βουρκωμένοι στην έκθεση και φεύγουν γεμάτοι από το συμβολισμό του Evzona, γεμάτη Ελλάδα, γεμάτη περηφάνεια, και νομίζω ότι και αυτή για μένα είναι μια πολύ καλή επιβράβευση για ό,τι έχω καταφέρει, ό,τι έχω προσπαθήσει. Κανένας Evzonas μέχρι τώρα, αυτό που έχω καταλάβει, κανένας Evzonas δεν θα πει ακριβώς ή δεν θέλει να μαρτυρήσει το τι έχει ζήσει μέσα στην προεδρική φρουρά, ή στους θαλάμους, ή πώς κατάφερε την εκπαίδευση. Όχι γιατί είναι κάτι μυστικό. Αυτό που πιστεύω είναι το ότι γιατί κανείς δεν μπορεί να καταλάβει τι είναι να φοράς τη φουστανέλα, τι είναι να φοράς τα τσαρούχια, να πονάνε τα πόδια σου γι' αυτό και να νιώθεις περήφανο ένα κομμάτι ενός συμβόλου που λέγεται Evzonas. Και χάρη στους Evzones μιλάμε ελληνικά αυτή τη στιγμή. Και αυτή τη στιγμή μάλλον. Είναι ένα όνομα βαρύ ο Evzonas, που περιλαμβάνει και κουλτούρα και ιστορία και πολιτισμό και Ελλάδα, που δυστυχώς διαπιστώνω ότι οι Έλληνες ή δεν θέλουν να ακούνε ή δεν τους ενδιαφέρει η ιστορία. Και αυτό γιατί έχω περάσει πολλές ώρες στο μνημείο, το γνώσιο στρατιώτη, και άκουγα διάφορα από τον κόσμο που ήταν εκεί πέρα. Δεν μετανιώνω ούτε το παραμικρό δευτερόλεπτο για όλο αυτόν τον χρόνο τον οποίο έχω ξοδέψει για τους Evzones, και θα το ξαναέκανα πραγματικά με όλη μου την καρδιά κάτι τέτοιο. Πολύ ιδιαίτερο. Είναι μια πολύ ιδιαίτερη υπηρεσία για έναν άντρα. Πολύ. Αυτά.
Thank you, Dimitra. Eleftheriadis and Adamos, if you can, tell us about your amazing organization that you've established.
I'm sorry?
Tell us about the amazing organization of the alumni of the Evzones that you've established in Hellas for the audience. I think it's very important for them to know how you've gotten together to form this organization.
Well, after almost...
Τώρα θα μιλήσουμε όλοι μαζί, so δεν πειράζει. You know, don't have it on mute anymore. Let's all have a conversation now. Εντάξει.
Well, to be honest, for me, it was a sudden call one day after 10 years almost, because I served at 2015 to 2016. So it's, yeah, almost a decade. And I just received a call one day from a guy who we used to work together. And he told me they want to create an, how can I say it, club? Let's say it club. And,
alumni organization.
Organization, yeah, I'm sorry. Our organization. And I say, what organization? You know, the guys who served the country as an Evzones in the presidential guard. And I say, really? Well, I was really surprised in the beginning because I never expect, I mean, we have organization who are with the army, so, but it's a unique section. So I was really surprised, and I didn't believe it, to be honest, because our president in the beginning, we went out for coffee and he explained me what we have to do, what we have to make, and I said, okay, let's begin it and we'll see. It's sometimes I still don't realize it, to be honest. I think it's a dream, but
Well, I don't think it's a dream, because part of the reason why we're having this conversation is because the organization reached out to me and said, somebody that you knew in America that indicated that you have an organization and would we be interested in discussing it? And I thought it was a fantastic idea. Adamo, you can release. Good. You're part of this organization also, right?
Yes, I
So
am.
tell us about it, because I think this is exciting, and I think the audience has to know about this fantastic organization that you're putting together. Because Evzones, I got to tell you, in America, when we see the Evzones coming to America and they're going down Fifth Avenue, our hair stands up. We're extremely excited by that. It's Dimitra, it's the exact opposite feeling that some of the people that you discussed earlier have. We are excited. To us, this is like Hellas coming to the United States. Not only that, these are our heroes. So we're very excited. So Adamo, tell us about the organization.
That is so true. The sentiment that we carry in every time we present ourselves as Evzones, the love and the respect we receive from the crowds is amazing. After all these years, I was in Presidential Guard about 23 years ago, and the feelings remain the same.
Let me ask you a question in terms of Evzones. I imagine there's a lot of tall people. There's a lot of tall people. Not a lot.
Only tall people.
There's a lot of tall people. But the Evzones, probably to become an Evzone, there's a process that you have to go through where they weed out not only the tall people, but people who can't do certain things in terms of discipline.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, I can share some information. The thing is that when we first were drafted to join the Greek army, after a period of about 2 to 3 weeks, there comes an officer from the Presidential Guard to see who are the volunteers. The first step is to volunteer, and that is the first and the most important step. That is that if you want to join the Presidential Guard, you must want to go there. So it's the sacrifice comes first, because we all know what it takes to be an Evzone. We've heard many stories before from our school years that it requires a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, a lot of endurance to stand still, to stand motionless, and present the honor that is due to all the people that have given their lives for our country. So the first thing that they must know, if we are good, if we have the value to come to Presidential Guard and join, is to be ready to sacrifice, to volunteer, to join the Presidential Guard. Of course, there is the height criteria. That it means that you must be at least 185 centimeters. I don't know how much is in feet, but it means to be quite tall. And after some time, when it was my time, I had to wait about 6 months to join the guard. But now it's like after 1 month of entering the Greek army, you can go to the Evzone guard. And you have to pass a month of training. That means to know the steps, the ceremonial steps. That means to know how to stand still, to endure, to instill the values that must be carried along the uniform.
And let me ask you a question. Some people can't take it, I would imagine, correct?
Yes, that's true. I don't know what's the quota. I don't know what's the quota, but not 100% of the people that are volunteering become Evzones. It's not a pass. It's not a free pass. You have to endure all the training, And there are a lot of cases that people, that the fellow soldiers drafted out from the Presidential Guard. They couldn't handle it.
Are there any special dietary restrictions? In other words, obviously we don't have any heavy Evzones.
The good thing is that when you go to the army, you're about 18 to 25, about this time of the year of an adult life. That means that the metabolism is quite striking. So there are not a lot of guys that are overweight. And maybe we can say that the weight comes from the height. Because if you're 2 meters tall, that means that you are about 120 kilos and you are okay on the poster.
Eleftheriadis, are there any special exercises that you do when you're in Evzone? In other words, is there continual exercising, or what happens in the training?
Well, it's usually the quite routine of the training is starting from 6 morning, and it basically lasts until the afternoon. So there are some special exercises that they can help you hold your eyes open to standing still through a process that we're starting to standing still from 30 minutes until the maximum is 2 hours, 2.5, if I remember correctly. Yeah, those are the basic two. And after that, the exercises with the weapon, the Me-1 Garand that we use in the army.
What are some of the exercises with the weapon? I'm just curious.
It's I don't know how to say that in English, but
Πες τα στα ελληνικά τότε, δεν πειράζει.
Παραγγέλματα. Παραγγέλματα. Precise exercises with the gun. When you are in όταν είσαι προσοχή, όταν είσαι μια ανάπαυση. Yeah.
In terms of the costumes, do they have tailors who take your measurements? Because I see these costumes as fitting perfectly on every Evzone. When I see them marching, it's like a perfect costume. Do they take measurements of everybody and create a costume for them, or what do they do?
We didn't have somebody who came to take our measurements, but because we have trainers, the oldest Evzones that they train us how to do this. So basically they have already prepared uniforms that it fits you, and they have a lot of them. So yeah.
So there's a selection process. They have a lot of uniforms.
There is a storage that they're keeping the uniforms there, and when it's time, they give you the tsarouchia, they give you the fermeli, they give you all the parts that is necessary to complete the uniform.
Adamo, they mentioned earlier that one tsarouchia is 3 kilograms. Is that true?
That's so true.
That's true?
Yeah,
that's a lot of weight.
Depends, also depends the size. I mean, if you're wearing a size 51 like I do, a European number 51, it's quite heavy, I would say. Quite heavy because of the nails.
Yeah. In terms of the exercise, or not the exercise, the procedure of raising the legs and everything, is that something that you exercise to do that? Is that part of the training?
Yeah, of course. We used to train a lot for this. You must have strong muscles in the legs so you can hold your feet still when you make a precise movement in the monument, on the steps, everything. And generally, it helps you to have a still body when it's time to be on duty in the monument or.
Yeah. Okay, great, fantastic. Dimitra, tell us a little bit.
Μια πληροφορία.
Πες το.
Η πρώτη φορά που ήρθαν οι Εύζονες στη Νέα Υόρκη ήταν το 1949. Πρώτη φορά.
49.
Ναι.
After the Civil War. It's after the Civil War, basically.
Υπάρχει μια φωτογραφία στην Προεδρική Φρουρά που το γράφει εκεί πέρα πάνω και αυτό είδα τώρα. το 49. Μπορούν να πούν οι Εύζονες λίγο πόσες ώρες είχαν ακινησία? Θυμούνται?
Gentlemen?
I had about 100 because after that I make duties inside to the army, inside to the army house. Army house? Yeah.
Mine
is
is above 100 hours guard at the tomb, but the hours that we had to stay still are a lot more than that, because we had a lot of procedures with the president in the presidential mansion, where we accepted foreign leaders in the presidential mansion. That meant that at many times we had to stay still for about 2 or 3 hours without stop. At the tomb of the monument of the unknown soldier, we had about 30 minutes stop of stillness, because next we had to do the changing of the guard and the ceremonial steps. So when we are hearing that a new foreign leader is coming to visit, we said, "Oh God, we have a lot of hours to stand still again."
Yeah.
Okay, so the biggest hours were really the ceremonial foreign leaders, basically.
Yes.
I see. Very, very interesting. All right, we're gonna wrap it up a little bit. So if we can, just some final words from every one of you. We'll start with Adamos. Give us some thoughts, impressions. What would you like us to do in terms of your organization? If you want to talk about your organization, how can we reach you, and what we can do to further what you want to do?
Nowadays, we are at the very early, I would say, natal steps of our association. We have only about 2 or 3 months that we have come together as a group. So we are picking up our speed. We are trying to raise some money to gather and make our uniform for every member of our associations. We are in direct contact with clubs around Greece, with city mayors or clubs that we want to work together, because we want to promote the Evzones, the values that we uphold. So to do that, we need a lot of time to prepare, to organize ourselves, and to be in contact with certain people, so we can arrange some events, let's call it that way. That could be a parade at a national holiday or a local national holiday. Let's say at the time that the city was freed from occupation. Or we try to make ourselves known at this time of the year, so we can try to make some connections, and so can people and the audience to really know about us.
So let me just ask a couple of questions. In other words, you said about costumes. In other words, you're talking about Evzone costumes?
Yes.
Okay. And when you say that you would be available once you had these costumes to march in different parades based on the liberation of any town, city, etc., during the revolution or after the revolution, actually, you're saying you're willing to participate in those type of parades that normally do not get the Evzones who are currently on duty. Okay, very fantastic. Would you like to further the conversation, Eleftheriadis, and just give us your thoughts about anything you'd like to? Yeah,
I totally agree with Adamos. I couldn't agree more. I would like to add that, and also I would like to do that, the whole thing that we do with the organization that we make for historical purposes. We have to remind where our roots from, where we came from as Greek, and we want to spread the word around, I would say.
Yeah. In terms of your organization, you're located in a particular region, but
Yes.
your
Yes.
organization would obviously take in any Evzone from whatever region exists in Hellas, correct?
No.
So far, no.
At this
Not
point,
yet.
no.
I don't know in the future if we change something, but for now, no. Only locals from our region.
So currently, it's a local situation from the region itself.
Correct.
And how many people were Evzones from the region? Do we have an idea or not really?
Well, so
Yes.
far we are about 25 people, but we have a lot of work to do, so we believe it's more.
Okay. And
It's more.
does any organization like this besides yours exist anywhere in Hellas right now or no?
I think it's one more in the Athens, if I'm not mistaken. But no.
There are about 2 or 3, if I
2 or 3?
remember correctly, that were former Evzones, but our purpose is unique. We want to dress
Yeah, that's more
again
precise.
as we were back in the days. We want to dress as Evzones, to do parades, to go where every Greek people is living nowadays, and to go to them and to honor their past, and to have some great thoughts for the future.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's not only your region that they would go to other regions if they were requested, correct?
Yes, we already have gone to Alexandroupoli this year on May 14th, that we paraded there. I was there, Lefteris was there, and we already have about 1 or 2 parades in our hometown in Katerini, where we celebrate our Liberation Day. And as we take up the challenges, we will be present in many occasions from now on. We are discussing of going to Kalavrita on March of the next year. We are discussing on going to Mesologi the next year. So we will be having a lot of on our plate. We have a busy schedule to try to accommodate all our offers.
Very nice. I mean, for the audience, obviously, next year is a very important 200th anniversary of the third siege or the Exodus in Mesologi. So that's obviously a very prominent day in terms of this particular year coming up. Dimitra, we're going to end with you. Πέσε μας τι θέλεις να κάνεις, να έρθεις στην Αμερική και όλα αυτά. Και ό,τι άλλο θέλεις να πεις.
Ευχαριστήσω πρώτα ότι πολλές φορές οι Εύζωνες πριν φύγουν για Νέα Υόρκη, ήμουν η τελευταία που τους έβγαζε φωτογραφία και η πρώτη όταν γυρνούσαν από Νέα Υόρκη. Και κατά τη διάρκεια που ήταν εκεί, κατά την παρέλαση, είχαμε μηνύματα πώς είναι, τι γίνεται. Γυρνούσαν ξετρελαμένοι, όχι απλά ξετρελαμένοι, δεν μπορούσαν να διανοηθούν την αγάπη και την ένταση που είχαν από εσάς σε σχέση με την παρέλαση που κάναν στην Ελλάδα την 25 Μαρτίου. Δεν μπορούσαν να το διαχειριστούν και είναι πολύ δύσκολο να διαχειριστείς όλη αυτή την αγάπη και όλο αυτό το μπράβο και να μην κλάψεις και να μην γελάσεις. Και οι ίδιοι απογορεύεται γιατί είναι σύμβολα. Τα σύμβολα δεν γίνεται να κλαίνουν, ούτε να γελάνε. Και είναι πολύ δύσκολο να το διαχειριστούν αυτό. Το μόνο παράπονο το οποίο έχουν είναι ότι όταν μεταφέρονται δεν υπάρχει το λεωφορείο το μεγάλο, υπάρχει ένα βαν το οποίο οι Εύζωνες όταν φοράνε στολή απογορεύεται να κάνουν το οτιδήποτε. Δεν πίνουν, δεν τρώνε, δεν κάθονται. Οπότε πρέπει να είναι όρθιοι. Και συνήθως...
So είναι πρόβλημα στο βαν.
Είναι πρόβλημα. Και συνήθως αυτό ήταν μόνο το παράπονο που όταν γυρνούσαν λένε είχαν πρόβλημα γιατί εμείς με τη στολή δεν καθόμαστε. Απογορεύεται να καθίσουμε. Οπότε πρέπει να είναι μόνο όρθιοι. Στην αρχή στο βίντεο μου υπάρχει μια φωτογραφία που είναι Εύζωνες όρθιοι. Στις φωτογραφίες. Ήταν το πρώτο πράγμα που μου έκανε εντύπωση. Ξεκινώντας ήταν η πρώτη φωτογραφία. Μου λέει απογορεύεται να καθίσουν. Απογορεύεται να καθίσουν, να μιλήσουν, να κουνηθούν, οτιδήποτε. Απαγορεύεται. Οπότε βάλτε τους ψηλά ρεφόλια για να χωρέσουν. Ξέρω ότι τρώνε πάρα πολύ φαγητό. Γυρίζουν πάρα πολύ συγκινημένοι, πάρα πολύ πραγματικά. Είναι τόσο δύσκολο να το διαχειριστούν, που μου λέει ό,τι και να σου πούμε με την ομογένεια είναι λίγο, πραγματικά λίγο. Οπότε ό,τι και να τους κάνετε, το κάνετε πολύ καλά και κάντε το και περισσότερο, το αγαπάτε.
Listen, thank you so much. This was a wonderful initial preliminary discussion about the Evzones. Obviously, there's a lot more history here. Obviously, there's a lot more to talk about. But we thank all of you for your great presentations and your enthusiasm also for starting other organizations and bringing to the people what they love, which is really the Evzones, in particular for important holidays within Elas. So to the audience, thank you for being with us. And our next panel discussion is called Journey and Reflections to Aristotle or Aristotle. We're going to have the authors of the new translation of the complete works of Aristotle, which have come out in English this month. They're published this month. And it's the first time in 71 years that anyone has published Aristotle's complete works in English. So thank you to the audience, and we'll be back. And we'll also have the mayor of Aristotle who will tell us not only about the Aristotle, but also about the region of Aristotle, which is in Macedonia. Thank you again, and until next time. Thank you. Thank you. Γεια σας. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ σε όλους. Thank you.
Μάλιστα.